What's up, guys? It's Pavel from Coding Jam Session. Uh, Welcome to the first episode in my live coding series. It's kind of a trial, so let's see how's that gonna go. I haven't had a chance to do any of the last year's Advent of Code, so I think that giving it a shot during our live coding might be a good idea. So today in the trial episode, let's try to solve day one of our Advent of Code in 2023. So let's have a look. Let's read through together of what kind of story they prepared for us last year. Trebuchet. Something is wrong with global snow production, and you've been selected to take a look. The elves have even given you a map on it. They've given you a map on it. They've used stars to mark the top 50 locations that are likely to be having problems. Okay, so we're gonna discover problems with a production of snow. Cool story. You've been doing this long enough to know that to restore snow operations, you need to check all 50 stars by December 25th. Okay, so we're 2 months late. Collect stars by solving puzzles. 2 puzzles will be made available on each day in the Advent calendar. The second puzzle is unlocked when you complete the first. Each puzzle grants 1 star. Good luck. So the scheme is the same as every year. So you've got 1 puzzle plus another extra puzzle every single day. All the way until 25th of December. Right, so let's have a look at the story. You try to ask why they can't use a weather machine, not powerful enough, and where they're even sending you, the sky, and why your map looks mostly blank. You sure ask a lot of questions. And hang on, did you just say the sky? Ooh, of course, where do you think the snow comes from? When you realize that the elves are already loading you into a trebuchet, please hold still, we need to strap you in. As they're making the final adjustments, they discover that their calibration document, which is gonna be our puzzle input, has been amended by a very young elf who was apparently just excited to show off her art skills. Consequently, the elves are having trouble reading the values on the document. The newly improved calibration document consists of lines of text. Each line originally contained a specific calibration value that the elves now need to recover. On each line, the calibration value can be found by combining the first digit and the last digit, in that order, to form a single 2-digit number. So here's our example input. In this example, the calibration values of these 4 lines are 12, 38, 15, and 77. So we've got a first digit 1, last digit 2, which is 12, 3, 8 in here, and we've got 1 and 5, 15. Okay, so we're looking, and when there's only one number, then we've got 77 because it's the first and the last digit at the same time. Okay. Consider your entire calibration document. What is the sum of all of the calibration values? So when we go through every single line, we need to get a number consisting of first and last, and then we need to sum up all those numbers. Okay, sounds good. Right. In that case, let's start with creating some files. Our index.js where we're gonna code. We need a input file and maybe a file for our test input. So 2 text files. So test input, we're simply gonna copy and paste it in here. Get your puzzle input. So we're gonna copy our puzzle input, paste it in our input.txt file. Let's see. Okay, first let's start with obtaining and parsing the data. So we're gonna need a fast to read our files. since we've got two files, we can just get a variable file name and initially give it a value of test input.txt. And we gotta read our data from the file. So we're gonna need create file sync, file name, and we're gonna parse it to string. And what we need to do with this data, so we're handling every single line separately, so we're gonna split it. So we're gonna get an array of strings, array of lines. So we're gonna split it. A second, because I'm on keyboard. Okay, we're gonna split it like so, like so. So we're gonna get array of lines, and let's have a look. Just console log how our data looks. Sorry about that, my sore throat. Okay, yeah, there we go. So we've got an array of strings, and every single line is a separate element in an array, which is good. And now we're gonna need to map through the array, loop through the array, and for every single line extract a number consisting of the first and the last digit. And then we need to sum up those numbers. Okay, so what we can do as well, we can actually we can actually get one more thing. So we're gonna measure our we're gonna measure the performance of our function. Yeah, oh wait, not like that, like that. Yeah, there we go. So we can log in the time that it takes to perform the task. So you can see if what we do is actually efficient or very, very, very slow. Right, so we need our solve port 1 function, and what we can do is start equals to dot now, and we're gonna invoke the function, and then start now, and then we've got a start timestamp and the end timestamp, so we can actually console log the execution time is and then we're gonna simply go with a minus and minus start. And what else we're gonna do? Okay, we're gonna, because that's gonna give us milliseconds, we want seconds, so we're gonna divide it by 1000, and we're gonna, it's gonna be a long number, so let's just put it to fixed, I don't know, 4 or something. And yeah. So what we've got now, the function is empty. We can just put, I don't know, return 2 plus 2, whatever that is. And now if we're gonna start run this code, we're gonna see the execution time of this function, which is, well, practically 0 seconds, because it's just one operation of 2 plus 2, which is good. But when we get our solution, we're gonna see how long it takes to solve the puzzle. Right, so now let's think how we're gonna solve it. So if we're gonna need to if we're gonna get a sum of all sum of the numbers from every single line, then we can actually use the reduce function. Yeah, so our response is gonna be equal to the data that reduce, and reduce function gets two arguments. The first one is gonna be a function that gets accumulator value, and in this case that's gonna be a line, which is a element of the array we're passing to the reduce function. Okay, and how we're gonna get our digits. Oh, okay, so before that I'm gonna show you a nice thing, because we're gonna need to look for the digits in every single line, and there's actually a nice thing in JavaScript which I'm gonna show you now. Some people know it, some people don't know it. Well, let's have a look. If I'm gonna console log is none, which is not a number, so every single not a number value, like a string, should give me true. Let's have a look, and this is console logging true, because this is not a number. But have a look at this. This is not a number as well. This is a string of, it has a digit 1, but it's in the form of string. It's not an integer, but have a look. It's giving us a false, so it's actually showing that it's a number. And if I invoke it like that, it's giving us false as well. So this is a useful thing to know about JavaScript, that even if we're performing that isNone function on a string version of number, it's gonna give us a false value, which is kind of useful. So that's what we can use in solving this puzzle, I think. So we need a first and the last digit. So we need two loops, one going from start to the end and the other one going from the end to the start. So what we're gonna do is use the while loops, because whenever we meet a first digit in the loop, we want to stop the loop. And so we need two indexes. So let's get e equals to 0, and let's get I equal to 0, pardon my English, and the j equals to, so one index is from the start, the other one is from the end, and we're performing that for every single line. So in this case it's gonna be our line dot length minus 1. This is the last, so this is the first digit in a line, and this is the last digit in a line. So our first loop, while I is less than line, we're gonna simply we're gonna increment the value, and we need a second condition, which is as long as the element is not a number, then we want the increment. But if we meet the first number, then we want to stop the loop and save the index. So that's what we're gonna do. You're gonna increment the index all the way until we meet the last element, or we meet a number value, which is gonna be so those are gonna be our two conditions. What's going on here? Alright. Yeah, that is fine. Okay. And a second loop is gonna be the loop going from end to the beginning, which is gonna give us a last digit value. So as long as j is greater than 0 and it did not meet a number, Then we're going to increment the J index. So let's just have a look and run this like that. Let's just console log those indexes and see what we've got. So I, and we've got J. And we've got j equals 0 and, well, I equals 0 and j equals 4, and we've got a, yeah, that's correct, because we've got 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the first line. It logged only once, as we did not return any accumulator, so the reduce function did not run anything else. But if we go like this, we should get a console log for every single line, or not. Let me quickly think. Return anything maybe different than that. No. Why are we? Right, anyways, let's just type in the condition that we're gonna need to combine those two indexes into a number. So what we gotta do? Right, so we're gonna check if the indexes are actually pointing to a digit. So if we actually have a digit in here, and we've got a digit in here, then what we're gonna do is we need to return a number combined of those two digits. So we've got two string digits. So remember, those two digits that we actually have, that those indexes are pointing to, are still the string. So we can actually concatenate them. So we're gonna actually get the accumulator, and we're gonna parse the. So out of the number we need an integer. So we're gonna parse use the parse int to parse the string into an integer, and inside we're gonna concatenate the two string digits, because and then so we're concatenating. So for the first line we've got 1 and 2, so if we concatenate we've got 12 in a form of a string, and we're parsing it to the integer, so it's gonna return us 12, and it's gonna add that to our accumulator. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And if those conditions are not met, we're simply gonna return the accumulator. Yeah, okay. And then at the very end, if you've got response, we're gonna console.log response. So something is not correct, as we're stuck in the infinite loop somewhere. So let's have a look what's going on. What did we do wrong? So we've got this function. Okay, we're initializing indexes. Well, I is less than line.length, and it's not a number. Increase j is great, and increase this. What did we do wrong? Why is it not? Why this reduce function is not going to another line? What did I mess up? I messed up something, but I don't know what. What did I mess up? Why is our reduce function not going to the second line? What is going on? Okay, we don't need this cosmic anymore, that's for sure. But why are we stuck? Why are we getting stuck? I don't know what's going on. What is going on? It's all good. Why is this function getting stuck? It shouldn't get stuck. But it is. Oh. Ha ha ha. What's going on with this reduce? Okay, let's have a look at the reduce functions. Maybe I messed up something. No, so we've got the function with accumulator and current value, which is our line, and an initial value. That's correct. So that's everything that we've given. No? Data is an array. That's correct. And we're passing through the function accumulator and value, which is our line. We're giving it a we're giving the accumulator the initial value of 0, which is correct. And the function is returning either accumulator or accumulator plus the value from the line. So it should be all okay. Why is this function getting stuck? I don't understand. Maybe something's wrong with those things. Just get rid of this. With those lines, let's have a look. No. No. We're stuck somewhere, but I don't see where and why. 330. Let's also look some things. So we've got the initial lock and the second lock, which is 12. So that's giving us the first line is actually 12. So after we're going through the first line, do. Oh, okay. Because we're not setting the, yeah, okay. Or no, actually not. No, I thought we're not resetting the indexes, but it doesn't matter actually. I don't know. I don't know. Mm, what the hell is going on? Oh, okay, I'm a dummy. So that took me a long time to actually notice. We need to decrement the bloody index because we're going from the end to zero. So that's a stupid mistake. Yeah. So all we had to do is decrement the j. Bloody hell. Okay, so yeah, we've got a response of 142, which has executed in less than 1 millisecond, which is great. And let's now, okay, so that's the solution that we've got here for our test input, which is okay. And now let's just use the real input. So all we need to do is change the file name, get the real input, and let's see what the solution is. Actually, let's get rid of those console logs because there's gonna be a lot of lines. We don't need those. Let's have a look. Wait, we don't need to console log the data. Right, so the solution is 54632 and it took 4 milliseconds to perform, which is a good time, I think. Very, very, very quick. Well, it's easy algorithm, so nothing fancy here, but let's type in the response and let's see. Submit. There we go. We get a gold star. Woohoo! So we've got the part one solved. Now let's have a look and let's solve part two. So let's declare the solve part two function. And continue to part two. Okay, let's read through and see what we got. So your calculation isn't quite right. It looks like some of the digits are actually spelled out with letters 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And those also count as valid digits. Okay, so not only we're looking for the digits, but as well as spelled digits like 2 and 9. Equipped with this new information, we now need to find the real first and last digit on each line. And the calibration values will be 2 and 9. Okay. 1 and 3 in the line 3. Okay. 2, 4. 4 and 2. 1 and 4. Okay. Yeah. So we need to consider the spelled digits as well in the second part. So that's actually not that very different than what we did with the first part, I think. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna, well, we still need the sum. So we're still gonna use the reduce. So pardon my English. We're still gonna use the reduce function in later line, and initial value is gonna be 0. But now we cannot use the is not a number function because that's not gonna work for our spelled digits. So let's quickly think. Brainstorm, brainstorm, brainstorm. Let's think what we can do. So we need to check if this, if a, we need to check if, hmm, mm, 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 mm. Okay, so we actually can get an array and see if the line includes any of the digits that are listed in an array. I think that's gonna be the easiest thing. So what we can do is just list all the digits. So digits is going to be an array that consists of all those digits that we know, both written and both digit alike and a word alike. So let's just list all of the possible digits: 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. Oops, those need to be strings as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So we've got an array of all those digits, and in each line we're gonna do the loop. Yeah. And we're gonna see if the what are we going to look through? We're gonna look, we can actually look through the digits, see if those digits are included in a line, and if they're included we need to check for the index of the digit and just find the smallest and the biggest index. So the smallest is gonna be our first number, and the biggest is gonna be mm, our last number. So instead of looping through the elements of a line, we're gonna look through the digits that we've got in our array. So for each element in our digits, so for each element we're gonna do this. And what we need actually outside of the loop, we need to keep those indexes. So we need a digit 1 index, and digit 1 index is going to be the first number, so that can so initially we're gonna pass it a last possible value, so worst case scenario, and digit 2 index, which is gonna be our last value, we're gonna pass it the first number, which is worst case scenario for this index. Okay, so if we've got those, so we can actually keep the numbers as well, the variables for those numbers, d1 and d2. And okay, so we're looping through every single of those. We need to check if the line includes the element. So if the line includes element, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna check two more things. So if, for example, in the first line we've got a digit called 2, we need to check if the index of the found digit, so of the found element from an array, is the lowest index of all out of all the indexes found in the loop. So we're simply gonna compare index of our element. We're gonna see if it's smaller or equal than the index that we've got already. So, because yeah, so we're looking for the first number, and we've given it initial value of worst case scenario. So every single number we find, we need to just simply check if it's smaller or equal than this index, and then if so, then simply assign this new index for our value. And if and we can actually as well assign the element to the d1, because the element is gonna be this, yeah. Okay, yeah, that's fine, but we need a second check for the last element. So we're gonna see is we can use the last index of method for the element, and what we need to check if it's greater or equal than the index that we're holding for the last element we want to see, and then we simply need to assign new values. So last index of element, and assign a element to what's going on? Okay, that's fine. So we've got those, and so let's also look what we've got, what we found. Okay, let's actually change this back to the test input. And let's just console log what we've got so far, so we're not gonna get confused. So d1 index, d1, no, because it's gonna be different for each line. Well, wait, let me quickly have a look, I think. First of all, what we need is this we can get outside of the does function. So we're actually gonna save our memory, and we simply gonna console log for, yeah, let's console log for each line. D1I, and we're gonna do the same for d2 index is d2 index, and d1 is d1, and d2 is d2. Let's just have a look what we got so far for each line. Oh, wait, in here we're gonna solve part 2, let's solve part 1. So what indexes do we have? 0 and 4, not correct. 3, 0, 1, 2, no. No. Those are not what we're looking for, I think. So we messed up something with the conditions. It looks good actually. And line includes element. So if line includes element which is 2, we're checking if the index of an element is a lesser, okay, and then we're passing this index to an element. So in the first line we should have 2, which is 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, no. First line is correct because the last digit is 9 and it starts with an index 4. So that is correct. Second line is 3 and 7, 8. So it does not find an 8. 0, 1, 2, 3. Oh, why is it giving us the 3 and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? Okay, so last index is fine, but why is it not giving us the 0 value here that I don't understand? Why is it giving us 3? For the third line, got 0, 1. Oh, okay, because it's, what am I talking about? This is a different test input. That's the problem. For the second part, we've got different test input than for the first part. Okay, so let's have a look. Right here, okay, 0, 4 correct, 0, 7 correct, 3 and 7, 0, 1, 2, 3, and 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and that's the last digits. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Now it all works. Now you can see 2, 9, 8, 3, 1, 3, 2, 4, 4, 2, 1, 4, 7, and 6. Yeah. Okay, so this is all working fine. So we found the elements for each line. And now, if we've got the elements, we need to parse them to digits and we need to concatenate them. So, how do we do that? No. Because if we've got a number like digit, that's fine. That's what we can simply leave. But those, we need to parse to the string version of a number. So 1. So if we've got a 1, what we need is something like this. So we can get actually a second array. Yeah, let's go. Let's start with this. So we're gonna get a second array with those elements. Digits 2. And what we can do is simply do a check at the end. So d1 is equal, and we're gonna check if is not a number is, well, we're gonna check if d1 is a number, then we're simply gonna leave the value as it is. So d1 is gonna equal to d1, but if it is not a number, then we're gonna pass it a value from the second array, and this value, look, those indexes are gonna be the same. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, they're gonna have the same index in the second value. So what we're gonna do is just use the index. Okay, so we're gonna do a digits. So if it is not a number, then we know that it's gonna be one of those values, the spelled version of a digit. So we're gonna parse it by simply passing it a digits.index of d1. So we're gonna look for the index of this, yeah, 3 or 4 or whatever in here. We're gonna find this index 0, 1, 2. In this case, it's 3, and we're gonna pass it a and we're gonna search in the second array for the value of the same index, because the index for 1 and 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 and so on, they're gonna have the same indexes. That's how we're gonna do it. So in that case, the d2 is gonna be handled in the same way. So if it's a number, then it's gonna equal to d2. If it is a if it is not a number, it's gonna equal to index of d2, just like so. And let's move this console below, and let's have a look what values are gonna. Oh, it's not, something's not correct. Okay, this is a capital N. Pardonnez-moi. And what we got? What we got? Still not okay. Why? Okay, we don't need to console log the indexes. We only need to console log those. Why? So if d1 is a number, we're gonna leave d1 as it is. But if d1 is not a number, then we're gonna pass it. Oh, because it's not the digits. It's the digits too. I used the wrong array. So we need to use the second array. Sorry guys. It's, the first session. Let's get in shape. Okay, there we go. So now we've got those parsed. So we've got string version of the digits. So all we gotta do now is concatenate and parse them to integer and return a accumulator, just like in the first example. So all we need to do is return accumulator from the reduce function plus the number, which is gonna be integer version of concatenated values of d1 plus d2. There we go, and then we should have our response. Let's have a look. So we finished it. Yeah, okay, we didn't console log the we did not console log the response. Pardonnez-moi. So console log the response. Okay. And there we go. Execution time was around 3 milliseconds, so it's very low, but well, for the test input. Test input is 281, which is the same value as in the example. So let's have a look let's go through our real input and see if it still works fine. 54019, 5 milliseconds. It's still a quick solution. 54019. Submit. There we go. We get a gold star. Okay, we solved day one. It took me way longer than expected, probably, but that's because I'm nervous of the first live recording. I'm new to this, so give me a break. I will get better with the narration, explanation, and everything. But yeah, we went through the first live coding session. We solved the day one of our advent of code, and I think I'm gonna stick to solving this all the way up to the end. However, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it every day, because I want to mix different coding sessions as well, and I don't have that much time to code every single day, to record every single day. But yeah, I'm sure we're gonna go through all of those, and hopefully it's gonna take me less time to solve the other ones than this session. Okay, thanks for watching, guys, and see you in the next video. Subscribe for more content.